Hey, everybody. I appreciate you joining us as always. You guys are phenomenal. You're the best in the world. You're watching the Richard Sherman podcast. But if you could do me a huge favor and hit that sub button, it would be greatly appreciated. You would do a service for your boy Sherm. And I tell you what, I got your back. You got my back. All love. We'll start off with the San Francisco 49ers. Brock Purdy, 23 of 30, 295 yards, 3 touchdowns, also 44 yards rushing, a career-long rush in the game. Brock looked good. He looked under control, in command, whatever you want to say about it. He looked fantastic. CMC, 22 carries, 73 yards, got a touchdown in the game. Ricky Pearsall, this might have been his best game as a pro, 6 catches for 96 yards. And the thing I loved about this game, they got my guy George Kittle involved early and often, made an impact on the game, 8 catches for 88 yards and a touchdown in this game. It was beautiful offensive game. Juwan Jennings, 3 catches for 37 yards, but got 2 touchdowns in the game, and of course, impacted it, blocking and just attitude throughout the game. I enjoyed the game. I'm sure Niners fans felt good about the game, especially going into the fourth. Once you got into the fourth, the Titans score, I think 14 unanswered or 14 points in the game in the fourth quarter. And the defense, it was just leaky, leaky yards in the run game. Dropped interceptions, no interceptions on the game, but could have been 3, maybe 4 interceptions on the day, and that's just inexcusable. When you're put in position to make the plays, you got to make them. Even in a win like this, you got to be critical and you got to take a hard look. Mustafa had one, I think it was right before the half. Jair Brown had an opportunity where the balls are just hitting him right in the face. Pause. The football is hitting them right in the chest, and you got to have them. You got to have them. When the ball hits you in the chest, Kyle Shanahan said it. If we just catch the balls that are right there, that come to us, we be in good shape. And the guys just didn't do it in the second half, and that's one of the frustrations in this game. And an otherwise really, really good game for the San Francisco 49ers. You look up and you feel good about every phase of the game, but you would feel a lot better if we caught those interceptions. If you got those interceptions, we didn't get sacks in the game. Cam Ward did a great job avoiding sacks. I thought we got a number of pressures in the game, but Pollard, 14 carries for 104 yards, is unacceptable, and that's something they got to clean up.
There's no question about it, Richard. That's where my eyes go to is Tony Pollard, 14 carries for 104 yards and a touchdown. I mean, let's be real. The Tennessee Titans are 2-12. I know we're going to hype this one up, but at the end of the day, I mean, the San Francisco 49ers are up against these LA Rams, who I just saw firsthand tonight. And if you want to win this division, you're going to have to play at a lot higher level than this. That's my opinion, Richard. But, I mean, we'll keep that to myself, I suppose.
Right. I mean, Brock Purdy had the fumble in the game on a Simmons sack. It was a controversial, but it was a fumble. But those are the plays where you hope in a game like this you could build on. You hope, hey, man, the defense, we got multiple interceptions, 2 interceptions, 3 interceptions in a game against a team that's struggling. When you have no sacks and no turnovers against a team that's got 2 wins on the season, an offense that's been really bad all season long, you start to scratch your head and you're like, hey, you're going to look into the draft to replace some of these guys. You're going to look in the draft to strengthen these positions. You're going to have to look into free agency to get some guys in these positions that can make the plays, because I mean, those aren't like talent plays where you're like, hey man, he made a heck of a play. He needed to do. Those are, you got to have them. Those are NFL. You play in NFL, you're a professional, make the play. And I'm sure Kyle Shanahan and Robert Saleh are going to take a hard look at this defense, especially on plays like this. I think Mustafa and Jair Brown have had great moments where they played really good football. I thought Jair Brown played an awesome game last week. But those are plays you expect an NFL player to make. And so you don't want to be critical in a win, but you got to be. You got to take a hard look at everything, and that's what I'm doing. I thought the special teams were impactful as they have been as of late, especially this season. In the return game, I thought it was great they didn't punt this game. Morstead didn't punt. They had a missed field goal in the game. Thank goodness it didn't matter, and it didn't count. And they got another. Pinero got another shot at it, so he stays. Let me just make sure he stays perfect on the season. Sky Moore, an 18-yard return in a punt return game. He's having a really impactful season. I'm sure they're excited about his addition. They made some really good additions at the trade deadline, but more news in San Francisco 49ers land is Brandon Ayuk being put on the reserve, left the squad list. People have been speculating what the issue's been after he was missing, not seen on the sideline, not seen on the sideline at practice for a couple weeks, and now we know what happened. He's left the team. I can't speculate on where he is right now. I don't know if he's gone home, if he's gone somewhere else, but they're saying he's left the team, and now you could get into a conversation about voiding guarantees, voiding some of the signing bonus that he's been given. We don't know how that's going to all shake out, but it looks like his time with the San Francisco 49ers is coming to an end. I have a hard time seeing a way to mend this relationship, to mend this partnership at this point from either side. Brandon obviously feels slighted and frustrated, and for the life of me, I could not understand why. They paid him a lot of money to play receiver in the National Football League. Obviously, you get injured, you feel frustrated. There was some speculation about him getting traded before he got paid. And it just seemed, it didn't feel right when it got signed in the first place. It seemed like a situation that was a trade was inevitable. He was unhappy. He was frustrated. He was venting. He was feeling away. It was one of those situations where you take all the San Francisco 49ers stuff down, then you put it back up and all that. And so it seemed like a split was inevitable at the time. And then it maybe things mended a little bit and he got paid and everybody was happy. But even the way his injury happened, and I think he played 4 games and he got banged up and hasn't seen the field since. And everything that's come out of the 49ers camp it's been pretty negative from that situation. And I think when you get to the situation where everything's negative, every conversation, every interaction is negative, then it's destined to be a split. And I know people feel a way about, man, they voided his guarantee as soon as they could. The San Francisco 49ers did not want to void Brandon Ayuk's guarantee. But, and I know people feel a way about the training staff and all that because all the injuries, some of them are unavoidable. But you can train and you can rehab on your own. Nobody's against that. Nicholas John Bosa did it. He rehabbed on his own. Guys do that from time to time, and that's their right. But when you rehab on your own, there are certain expectations when you come back. And if you haven't been with the team the entire offseason, then there's an expectation that, hey, there's a report date for players that are starting the season on injured reserve, and there's a report date for teams players that are coming in healthy and competing in training camp. And when you're coming in on injured reserve, you come in about 4 days early. Nothing crazy. It's not 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It's about 4 days, 5 days early. Just so they can check up on you and make sure nobody else is there to distract them away from you. Because when they get all these guys in, you get 90 guys in, it's hard to pay attention to the injured guys and get them situated in the way you need to. So in order to avoid that, they get the injured guys in there early. They get them in there early so they could say, hey, I'm going to take my time. We're going to diagnose where you are. We haven't had a chance to rehab you in the building. We're going to see where your knee is, how much atrophy, how much work we got to do before we can get you on the field. When they're paying you $30 million, when they're paying you anything in the National Football League, that's fair. That's fair. It's fair to expect you to come in early because you haven't been in the building. When you don't, they fine you. Hey, you don't come and you don't show up when you're supposed to show up. There are fines in the National Football League. And that was communicated. That's understood. When you show up when everybody else does, then there's issues. Then there's issues that come up because they can't evaluate you in the proper way. Then they finally get to the point where, hey, they've evaluated you. They see where you are. They start your rehab process. And then it's almost like you're holding yourself back because you don't want to show up for certain things. You want to go to certain things. You want to do things your way. And the team has a way of doing their own thing. So again, there's frustration, there's miscommunication, there's misunderstandings on both sides. But eventually, Brandon decided that he wanted to. He no longer wants to be with the team, and the team decided to take his bonuses and everything, and take his guaranteed money for the next year. Not that he couldn't earn it back if he played, and they continued their partnership, but that's what it looks like on that front. That's what I think happened, and it's unfortunate.